I'm Leslie Gordon, Executive Director of the Breman Heritage Museum. Our 25th anniversary celebration would not be complete without a tribute to our namesake, William Breman of blessed memory.
He had some passions. And whatever he did, he wanted to do well, and he did do well. I remember on Sundays, he would get in the car, go downtown to the post office, get the mail, ride around the city to see what buildings were being built. He just loved the city. And then he'd come home, and he'd get home around lunchtime, and my mother would make lunch. And I remember one time there was music playing, and he just stopped my mother and started dancing with her around the kitchen. So he had a fun side and a twinkle in his eye. And she supported my dad in everything he did.
Bill Breman was looking for he wanted to do something philanthropic that would benefit the community for years to come. We had a number of components of a museum without walls already. Very excited. He gave a very generous $1 million gift.
I remember my grandfather being a quiet man. He didn't say a lot, but whenever he spoke, we were all very keen to listen. He just was always present in my life from the time I was born until the time he passed.
1990s, he went to see the executive director of the Federation at the time and said something like, I have $1 million, what would you want to go to? And then executive director talked to him about creating and supporting this particular activity, which was mostly the development of an archives and a few exhibits from time to time.
Jarvin's amazing, Heath. I don't know anybody else like him except my dad.
We needed to expand the education, to expand the opportunity for people of all ages to hear these stories.
Later on, increased the amount, increased it again 2 or 3 times. And it was not something that somebody solicited him for. He said he had some money and was ready to use it for something.
I can remember that my grandfather always had other people in mind. He was always compassionate and had empathy. And he would talk about people who needed help and what he could do to help.
Was always here. And the docents loved when he came, because if he walked into the front lobby and there was a tour group, the docents would introduce him and he would spend time with those kids. And I can remember all these students encircling him. They couldn't believe that the person who actually started this museum was here in the flesh. So he enjoyed it, the students enjoyed it.
Even though he was tall and older and white-haired and strong, he was just very open, and you could tell he loved children and children could feel it.
I hope that it has helped to educate, to sort of shine a light on who Jews are, who Jews were, how they lived, what they contributed, how they died. It should be a place of community. So those are my hopes going forward.
An institution like this, which constantly is evolving, will, I think, be important to future generations.
It's a grounded place after 25 years for people to teach their kids and younger generations and have a place to share in Jewish heritage, especially in the South, and remember things that happened, both good and bad, that need to be passed on and remembered. He was always the kind of man who wanted to give back and help other people. I love him, and I always will, and think about him often.